Hello everyone! Welcome back to the show in Hong Kong and in the UK. I'm Cheryl Wong as usual. And today there's something really special happening on our campus, which is Mind the Gap! The event that I promoted yesterday. And it's actually basically to smash the stigma. And I'm really, really happy that I've got a friend who's from Japan and he is an exchange student who shows support for our event. And that's why I invited him over this morning. And then we started talking about stuff, and I'm really glad that he's very happy to try to be on the show and try to give it a go. So thanks so much, Shinji. Next to me is Shinji. Say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone. I'm Shinji. I'm coming from Japan. Nice to meet you.
How to say can you teach me how should I introduce myself in Japanese?
How I introduce myself in Japanese.
Yeah, how should, for example, I myself.
You could just say konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Saying hi, hello, and what does namae? Namae is name.
Okay, namae.
So namae wa something something.
Isn't it watashi wa?
You could also say watashi. Watashi is like I am.
Okay.
Watashi is like saying I in a polite way. So.
How about the other one?
Namae.
Namae.
It means name. So name is.
Okay. So you said that watashi is more polite. How about
Namae. It's
Is
actually
it
it's
not
polite
that
too.
polite?
I don't really know the difference between those
okay.
ways.
Okay.
Yeah, you could also say watashi no namae, which means
Okay. Cool.
my name is.
So today we have started this really conversation about whether British people are more polite or Japanese people are more polite. Because, to me, as a Hong Konger, when I grow up, I find that Japanese people are really polite. And also British, we think that they are quite like gentlemen with the walking cane and drink tea and things like that. I know it's like a very old-fashioned stereotype, but it's just like that. So when I see this Japanese friend, of course I talk to him about this stereotype, and we have got some very interesting founding. Like when Japanese people go to the cashier, they say sorry.
Yeah. We don't really. When we receive change, sometimes I say sorry. I don't know why. Is it because I don't know, I received money or I'm not really sure. But I hear some people saying sorry in the cashier, and I also sometimes say sorry. So
do you mean like, for example, I'm the cashier lady,
yeah,
and you come over to pay me cash, and when I get the cash out, you say sorry?
Sometimes to be polite, I would say. Like saying sorry is like just being polite. It's like just being polite, just to be polite, just say sorry.
Okay.
And I think that's why I found like I was actually I think it's similar here. Like people say sorry as just to not always to mean like to show apology, but also just to just I think it's just the common way to. I don't know. It's like saying hi. I think I'm not sure, but I hear a lot of British people saying sorry here too. I was surprised by that, and I think it's something similar.
But okay. Because I thought you said that when you were learning English, the teacher said that don't say sorry that much.
Yeah. I mean, like before I came here, when I learned English back in Japan, because in Japanese people say sorry a lot.
Yeah.
I just tended to say sorry a lot when I spoke English in the classroom, and then some teachers told me not to say sorry too often in English.
Yeah.
So I just thought, maybe not many people say sorry that often. But I was really surprised by British people saying sorry a lot when they. So for example, when they walk in the street and I come from the other side of the street and then like kind of when we like try to make a way for each other, and we kind of end up getting kind of bumping into each other, and we say like sorry, and well, like in many situations, I think British people also say sorry.
Yeah.
Very similar to
Yeah, because in case you guys don't understand how the story thing about like bumping into each other work, I'll just play a YouTube video now. It's from Marcus Butler, a UK YouTuber. So yeah, have a listen.
Son, we kind of just want to get out in it. We British can come across as being very polite, when actually we're not always as nice and polite as it may perhaps seem. Oh, sorry, can I just maybe squeeze through? Sorry, yeah, sorry, excuse me, yeah, sorry. Get out of my fucking way. Obviously, that's not me. I'm a lovely person. We also use the word sorry, and most of the time, what happened to my voice there? We don't actually use it for apologising. I do this all of the time. Sorry, would it be alright if I just squeeze through? Wait, what are you apologising for? Logically though, that's probably why people think we're so polite. When really, we're not that polite. We're not any more polite than any of you other people around the world watching this video, if I'm being completely honest. Sorry. I literally didn't... Why? We also love...
Okay, yeah, that is exactly what Shinji was talking about. And I was asking this question, is there a word, excuse me, in Japanese?
So we have a word, sumimasen. It means both sorry and excuse me, actually. So I would say, like, I can't really tell when people say this word if it's to mean sorry or excuse me. And, like, I think we don't really differentiate those two words in Japanese. Maybe that's why Japanese people say sorry too many times too much.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because back into Hong Kong, for example, like squeezing into the road, we just say 唔好意思, which is excuse me. We won't say sorry, which is 對唔住. Because like, okay, this is to Hong Kong audience, but I mean, because excuse me is not like that serious. You don't really have to apologize for things because you are the one who's blocking the way. Go away! So yeah, we've been talking about the culture of saying sorry.
It's very interesting though. Like, I think like it's you know what, it's good. It's kind of being honest to other people and to yourself. For example, in Japan, like people would say sorry to avoid argument or avoid any trouble. Like when you want someone to make a raid, you say sorry, not to. Well, maybe sometimes some people say sorry to be just to be polite, but I think most people just say it to avoid getting in trouble. So it's in a way it's like lying. so
yeah, because Shinji has talked about presents earlier, like giving presents to others. Would you mind telling our audience more about it?
So in Japanese, so for example, if you go to a friend's birthday or anyone's birthday, you bring a present, and when you give it to your friend or anyone, you say sorry for bringing something boring or bringing something that's small, but I hope you like it. Like it's kind of a common phrase to say somehow in Japanese. And
it sounds really weird to me. I was like, why do you have to say it? It's like, sorry for bringing something not too interesting, but I hope that you enjoy it. I would say, I don't really say it. Like, if I really feel bad of not preparing that well, I always say it, but it's not like something like what Shin just told me earlier, that it's like something you just say it.
Sorry for bringing something forward.
Yeah, because you just say it for... It's not like out of the sake of saying it, but it's like...
It's not in a serious tone though. It's like sorry for just something small.
So what if you're really sorry for something? How would you say? Like, is it the same word or do you use different words?
I think in a different tone. I would say it in a different tone. Really sorry. I don't
Really
know.
sorry.
Yeah, I think it's similar here. I think I actually wondered if British people say sorry when they give a present. Do you think?
No, I don't think so. Because, okay, I've got this wonderful friend. I'm not sure whether she want me to say her name, but yeah, I'll ask her next time. But she is amazing. She's so lovely, and she invited me over to her house for Christmas, for like staying over. And then I've received so many gifts, and then they won't say sorry. They're just like Happy Christmas, and that's it. Like, yeah, this just sounds like yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe between friends, maybe we might not. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like it's a way just a way to be polite.
Yeah.
In Japanese, when we say I'm sorry for bringing something small in Japanese, so I'm kind of not sure now. I think like maybe some between friends they might not say it. Sometimes they might say it. Depends on the person, but
Yeah.
there's the fact that there's people who say that. So
I'm wondering, is it because I'm thinking back to the whys? Why will I'm not sorry. Japanese.
Yeah.
Nihonjin. Is it?
Yeah.
Say sorry is because you guys are really worried about bringing trouble to others. Because, for example, this morning, because of the mind gap, Shinji wanna come, and I was like, okay, I'll try to ask, but unfortunately, all the tickets were sold out. So I was like, Shinji, I'll try to ask, but then he was like, no, it's fine, and I was like, When I say that, I really mean that it doesn't matter. But he's like, okay, I'm too late. I know I'm too late. It's okay.
I feel that like Japanese people are raised not to annoy other people. It's really somehow it's really important not to annoy people, and it sounds nice because it sounds nice. But at the same time, like I think I lose a lot of opportunity for trying too hard to be polite or not to annoy other people. Like, for example, I tend not to say my opinion to people.
Yeah.
I sometimes I think too much about it, and I feel like I might annoy people by pushing my opinion and things like that. So.
Yeah. And also, what surprises me is the Islamic State, because there was a Japanese journalist who was murdered. And obviously it's really unfortunate, but it surprises me that the parents of that Japanese it's journalist, right?
Yeah.
That journalist's parents have to apologize? What do they have to apologize for? What do they have to apologize for?
They had a conference or something, in front of a lot of media. They officially apologized for what their son caused.
Yeah.
Actually, it was only his mother, I think.
Yeah.
His mother showed up and I think she apologized.
Weird.
I think the logic behind it is that like people, how to say, like when their member of when a member of their family causes something really bad for Japan.
Yeah.
We just think that, their family members have to apologize.
Yeah, and you said that you're not the only person who said that.
I was not really surprised
mutual
by
friend
that.
said that as well. And then you told me that you were surprised at how we, who are not Japanese, responded to that incident. Because you think that is appropriate to do it.
Yeah, I thought it was natural that she apologized, kind of.
Yeah, because it's... Would you mind explaining a bit more?
About
the logic. I don't want me always saying things, so...
So how to say, so the Japanese journalist, he went to Islamic State, and he was captured and he got killed, and that kind of made Islamic State to pay attention to Japan, and I think the parent wanted to that made big controversial. That was a controversial topic, and also that just a lot of people talked about it, and I think that what the parent was apologizing for was that he's causing all of that debate and that energy. Japanese people's using that energy to discuss it and talk about it and everything. Government working for working to rescue him and so many things, people having to worry about him, everything. I think she apologized for all of that.
And but honestly, did you guys feel angry that because of this journalist, it brings so much trouble to the country? Do Japanese really feel that way?
I personally don't really feel anger, but I do think some people think, oh, he annoyed Japanese society.
Okay.
It's his fault that he brought something negative to Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, some people I think felt that way.
Yeah. I just remember that I read an article earlier saying that was before the journalist was being killed. The title was saying that, please release him. This won't apply to Japan. This is exactly the difference between Japanese culture and I can't say a lot of different culture, but at least based on my observation, British culture and Hong Kong culture, Cantonese culture. Maybe that's why some British students told me that they think that Japanese people are really, really polite because they've got this unique culture of not wanting to bring trouble to others, and if there's anything that is related to oneself, just have the self-blaming culture.
Yeah,
Would you agree with that?
It's in a way it's being polite, but it's also it harms Japanese people. I think sometimes we just sometimes think about it too much, maybe not to annoy other people, and that's sometimes unhealthy, I think.
Yeah, and
I just wanted to say it has of course good aspects, but at the same time it also has bad aspects. It has good and bad.
Oh, it suddenly reminded me of a book. I forgot the name, but it's saying the author is a Japanese, and then he's saying that it's sometimes terrifying that even though he's living with his wife, but he's not 100% sure what his wife really means sometimes. I think that is an extreme, but I mean, what that writer is trying to imply is this culture.
Okay, yeah. I think the husband not understanding his wife, right?
Yeah.
I think that's yes. So not to annoy other people, we kind of not developed. We kind of I think figured out this method to say things indirectly. So we avoid saying things directly, and then we say, we can imply, and kind of hope that people will get what we actually mean.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. I think that's why there's misunderstanding between wives and husbands.
Yeah, and just one last question before our break to hear a song. That's a Japanese song. Just before that, one last question. Do you think British people are more polite or Japanese people are more polite?
It's a really difficult question, actually, because I don't really want to... it depends on...
It depends on the person.
Yeah, it depends on the person, actually. Recently, I think there's also very rude Japanese people. And there's, super polite British people.
Yeah.
So I can't really... I don't want to generalize people. So,
Yeah.
depends. It really depends. I think
See, Japanese people are really humble and really polite. You can tell by how he speaks.
like they can we can be polite, but at the same time sometimes because we try too hard to be polite, we forget about being authentic or just telling what we actually feel. And while British people, I think, tend to express their feelings more directly, clearly. So that could also be as a way that could also be a way to be polite.
Yeah.
Because being honest, like being honest to people, and
But wait, do you mean being polite, being honest is also a way of being polite?
I
or-
think it's kind of like
Why?
if you think I don't know
It's
somehow.
not.
Like-
It's not.
Yeah, but like telling a lie is obviously not polite, right? Like so that's why I just thought maybe not hiding. We don't really hide, but
You mean like not really saying what you really mean?
yeah.
It's a kind of lying, and I think it's just not good. It's not in the category of polite or not, but
Real.
you're just not being that honest, but not in the category of whether polite or not.
Well, yeah, that could be like that. I'm just getting confused now. Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah. Just now I was just jesting.
Sorry for the confusion.
No, no, it don't have to be. Stop saying sorry.
Typical Japanese saying sorry too much.
No, I was just jesting. I mean, like, yeah, I would have said sorry in that context, just like what he said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's totally fine. And also about whether Japanese people or British people are more polite, I totally agree with Shinji that it's really a very subjective thing. But
Also, yeah, we shouldn't forget that there's also very polite Hong Kong people like you.
Oh, thanks! Wow. Hey, how to say thank you in Japanese?
Arigato.
Arigato.
Yeah.
How about gozaimasu?
Oh yeah, that's more polite, even more polite.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Gozaimasu.
Ah, okay. Arigatou gozaimasu. and of course it's very like it's not a right thing to generalize things, but because it's just a talk show, like
It's fun, it's fun.
I just want to like have a general
Yeah.
idea of how people think and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like.
yeah.
So let's take a break now, and the song we're gonna play now is by is it Biz?
It's bees.
Bees.
Yeah, bees. It's actually
Bees.
bees. Yeah.
Bees.
Yeah.
Is it even accurate?
Sorry.
It's accurate.
Yeah,
Bees.
bees. Yeah.
Bees. Is it famous in Japan?
I would say everyone knows. Yeah, it's very famous, and we just found out on Wikipedia that it's the best-selling band in Japan, right?
Yeah, it's
And
the
also one of the best-selling in the world.
let's see, Beats is one of the best-selling music artists in the world, and the best-selling in their native Japan, having released 46 consecutive #1 singles.
Ooh,
Yeah.
didn't know about that.
What?
I didn't know about that.
And 25 #1 albums and sold more than 80 million records worldwide. Ooh. Can I say sukoi in this context?
yeah, sugoi. We're
What does
speaking
it
too much Japanese here.
Sukoi means amazing, right?
Yeah, amazing, cool, awesome.
Yeah, so we're gonna play this awesome song, Eternal Wings. It's from one of my really good friend, and he's also a really huge fan of the show. But he's a bit shy, so he doesn't want me to say his name. But you know who I'm talking about. Thanks so much, and I love you so much. So here we go.
真っ白い雲の漂って何があるの 桜の丘で寝転んで夢を見てたいつか戻ってきたい場所はきっとここにある永遠の翼が欲しいまた会う時のために儚いこの命を朝日のように燃やしながら羽ばたいてゆこう明かりの下を二人乗り自転車こいで強く抱きつくあの曇り涙が出そう失ってはいけないものを知ってしまったよ永遠の翼広げただ君のためだけにまばゆいその笑顔が消えないように願いながら羽ばたいてゆこう僕らがいつも目指すのは愛しい者たちの幸せ絶望の先に必ずある一筋の希望の光
Hello, welcome back to the show. I'm Cheryl Wong again, and today we've got a really special guest. He's from Japan. Would you like to introduce yourself again in case someone has just tuned in?
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Shinji. I'm Shinji. I'm from Japan.
What do you say?
Sorry.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm from Japan. I'm studying here in exchange. I've got only 2 months left.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying very much.
Good,
Newcastle.
good,
Newcastle.
So, actually, we know each other from Anglo-Japanese Society, which
Was
is
it English-Japanese?
Is it not? Ah, no.
No, it was. Well, yeah, it was at someone's party or something.
Yeah, it's. I remember it. It was. We've got a mutual friend. It just. Do you know Otto?
Otto, stop.
Anyways, okay.
Okay, well, anyways. Anyways.
Yeah, we can just move on. Anyway, we just met in a like a flat. I mean, how do I say? It's like a
Flat party
common.
or something.
It's like a kitchen
Oh yeah.
of a flat because.
Yeah.
My friend and his friend are were cooking separately, and then we joined in to the same party, and we knew
kind of
each
mingled.
other.
That wasn't Park Terrace, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
That's
where
was.
we met.
And then I really wanted to learn Japanese, and I was so glad that I met.
Yeah, that's where we met.
yeah, I really want to learn it. And Japanese sounds really good, honestly. Honestly. So.
I wanna learn Cantonese someday.
Are you sure?
Yeah. A really awesome guy from Hong Kong last year.
Oh.
He's back in Hong Kong
Yeah,
now.
we all of them.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to talk to him.
Okay.
Not Hong Kong Cantonese.
And yeah, and that was how we met. And this morning we met again, which was really surprising. And thanks so much for coming to the conference this morning. It is called Mind the Gap. It is a society of our uni to smash the stigma. And this morning I was holding a session. Basically, was talking about my own personal experience of depression and anxiety. And one of the main point actually hits on being an international student and communicating in English, and I was quite surprised that Shinji actually felt the same as well. So how do you think?
So I really related. I could relate my story to yours. And I feel that a lot of international students feel the similar way, and so you said that like perfectionism of English
Yeah.
kind of makes you depressed, right?
Yeah.
So like, well, I didn't really feel depressed, but still I felt a lot of pressure when I still sometimes feel pressure when I speak English, and it's because so before usually outside students from outside of Europe
European.
we have to take an English test called IELTS, and we have to get certain score to come over here and study here. So we took it, and we usually we have to get a score to come here. So we think that our English is good, and we can mingle with British students.
Should be okay.
Yeah, and then we come over here and you find it very difficult to communicate with people.
Yeah, exactly.
And like not being able to understand, it might be not just because of English, but we tend to, I think, blame our English level when we don't understand like British jokes, when we can't join our flatmates' conversation, and when they speak very fast, like when people speak English between native speakers, it gets really fast, and it's really difficult for us to understand. So, so not being able to understand, finding it very difficult, it made me blame my English. And I blame my English for not being able to understand. And that's why I just thought it really synthesized. Thank you. I job, please don't worry.
Don't worry.
So and then it made me think that I shouldn't make a mistake, and every time I make a mistake when I talk, it just made me very tired, and I just kind of ended up being afraid of talking to people.
You mean in general?
Usually when I speak English.
Just okay.
Yeah,
Good. I totally see your point. So basically, wow, you've talked about a lot which I can totally connect to. Let's recap a bit. Because recently, I don't know why I always lose focus on main points and
Me too.
yeah.
We're so unorganized.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I just quickly go over what you've said and remind me if I missed any point. So basically, it's, we both feel that speaking English is not a matter of whether you speak it in the right accent or like in having good English, having enough vocabularies. Is like firstly is whether you have got the same topic, and secondly is you covered a lot. What is the second point?
What was my second point? I don't remember. But
but
anyway.
what else do you cover?
I would just say, like a lot of people when we learn English, a lot of people tell us that it's okay to make mistake and it's okay to have your own accent, to speak English in your own accent. But I think a lot of international students, because we studied English hard to come here, right? And then we have kind of like pride, and we really don't want to make mistake, and that kind of pressure that we give to ourselves, it kind of accumulates, and then it just, I think, makes us really tired.
Stressful.
So I think there's this tendency among international students, especially because we already learned English, right?
Yeah.
So we should like reclaim that it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah, and I'm not totally 100% whether I'm getting it right, but
Yeah, sorry.
it means that I have studied this hard in order to get this level of English. So that's why through communication I should be able to reflect it. Like in our test we don't really make mistakes. We get like nearly 90 something out of 100. Why would I still make mistake?
Yeah, it makes me it just disappoint myself so much, like when I make mistakes so many times, like when I speak English. So and that just disappoints me.
Yeah.
That just makes me feel so bad so mad at myself. So it's not healthy. It's not.
I understand what you mean. In case British students, you're really surprised, because I know you guys will be surprised. Is this quite true for a lot of international students?
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys are surprised. It's because like this morning, because this morning the topic was about how mental illness is related to diverse community. So I shared my experience and shared how I think that English suck, like in every single way in the past. And then Shinji talked about his experience. And right after he talked, I was like, so, British students, how do you guys think of Shinji's English? And do you still remember what they said?
I don't really. Well, yeah, they said it's
really good.
It's not too bad. It's nice. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, they come from, I don't know how to say. They phrased my.
No, they really praised you.
So
they do.
So yeah, yours too. So
Thank you.
it's we should
But
we shouldn't just stress ourselves too.
But how did you feel when you hear they say your English is really good?
Actually, it doesn't really. I'm really sorry for saying this, but actually, it doesn't really make me feel better somehow. It's really, I really appreciate they're saying that my English is good, but at the same time, I still feel that I can't still fully understand like British students' conversations, and like making a lot of grammatical mistakes every single time. Make grammatical mistake. I think I kind of
don't
feel.
really, honestly.
But like, don't you feel it? Like
no.
Really?
No. Who told you that?
But because we talked about perfectionism today, so I thought like just trying. Also, I think like in speaking foreign language, there's I think ups and downs. Sometimes when you're tired, you can't really speak as fluent
As normal.
fluently as when you can speak normally. So it's that also disappoints me. I think like sometimes I'm so tired and I can't even say things I want to say in English, and it just makes me so hate myself. And I think that's why I related my story to your story about perfectionism of English, and yeah.
Okay. Because Shin just talked a lot about different aspects, and let's just I totally agree with what he said about international students, and but I just want to make the points more clearer so that audience will be stop saying that. And it's like so basically we have been discussing about 2 points. The first point is perfectionism, which is like you really want to strive for something that is perfect without any mistakes. And secondly, is feeling stressful because we are speaking not in our mother tongue. So firstly, back to not wanting to make mistakes, I agree with Shinji about the feeling of pride, because it's something that we have been good at and we want to push it further.
Yeah, back in our countries compared to people who are not native speakers in our own country, right?
Yeah, compared to them.
Yeah.
It's that pride, and it's also what builds our confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. We can do it. Like we can go to Britain and we can study and mingle.
Yes, exactly like that. That's why I want to push it further.
Yeah.
And being too obsessed with it. So
yeah, it's really easy to get obsessed with languages, I think.
Yeah.
Once you start learning it.
Yeah.
There's no end to it, and you just want to
continue.
Be perfect, and you want to. Yeah,
especially because we're good at it. So, for example, my story was that I really, really want to pick up really good accent because I sort of have this gift from my parents that I can pick up the Taiwanese accent.
Oh, really? Okay.
And also, I was quite surprised that the first time I was talking to Shinji, I really want to learn Japanese. And I say some Japanese words, and he said that I'm quite accurate.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I told you
I'm
before.
really happy. Thanks so much.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks so much.
Like saying things in pronunciation. Yeah, I know how to say it in an accent that you don't have in your own. Yeah.
Thanks so much, because I've never learned it before, and I know that I have this gift, so I really want to push it further. This leads back to our point about really wanting things to be perfect. So my view is my obsession is with accent, and Shinji's accent is with grammar, and also there's a point there's a thing that is similar between us. It's really the goal of coming here, speaking good English, and mingling with British students. And when we can't do that, it's kind of frustrating.
I found it. I found it difficult. Of course, it's difficult because we have different cultural background, so we have different values, and we have even TV shows. We don't know TV shows that British people watch. So
not having the same topic.
Even just talking about TV programs, it's already difficult. so
have you tried to break through it?
I actually asked my flatmates about what they watch, and I subscribe to Netflix to watch English programs.
What have you been watching?
I usually only watch movies. So
okay, it's good.
I don't really.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, because sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. I also there's a TV actually in our flat, so we sometimes one of my flatmates really loves Big Bang Theory. Is it called? So I also sometimes watch it when it's on TV.
Yeah.
And I like it.
I actually prefer Game of Thrones.
I've always wanted to watch it.
Watch it!
Yeah, but Netflix doesn't have it, so...
you can watch... I'll send you the link later.
We should talk about it.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree with you. Finding topic could be hard. So...
Yeah.
But if you try to ask them, so what kind of TV you watch, it's definitely a good tip. And also, there's a thing that I think this is kind of a tip. it's do not expect yourself to be able to understand them straight away because you guys are different, and just try to sit there to listen to what they are talking about. I remember the first time when I was mingling with my really good friend Dennis. I know you're listening. When I was interacting with him, I just sit there not knowing anything. They talk about politics like EU. They talk about Game of Thrones. They talk about Hobbit. They talk about what's that called? I can't remember. That's a TV series that's talking about chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
I can only think about the Big Bang Theory. Maybe they might talk about chemistry.
What is that? Come on.
Chemistry.
Yeah, about chemical stuff. Oh God, I can't remember. Big Bang. It's not. Is it Big Bang Theory? It's not. Is it?
I don't.
Big Bang. I remember.
Maybe they might talk about chemistry to be funny. I don't know.
I can't really remember. Breaking Bad.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
see, we both are trying to.
Between us,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. The point that I just wanted to bring up is every single one of us want to. I assume every single international student want to mingle with British, but even we're trying in different paths. We might not be necessarily like receiving the same information and knowing the same kind of TV show. So don't expect you to understand every single thing. Like, this may sound very bizarre to British students, like, why will you understand every single thing? But just based on what we have talked about, hoping to be perfect, we have this sort of mindset somehow, wanting to know, like, expecting ourselves to know every single thing.
Yeah, I think, like, we should know, that, British students actually don't really care about, us not understanding everything they say. Like in your session today in the morning, you know, like British people there, they said that they don't really care about it. Like it's fine not to understand, and just ask. You know, you can always ask when there's something you don't understand. So it's really sometimes. It's really difficult when you don't understand, because asking about what they talk about, it kind of makes you think that it might annoy people, like interrupt their conversation, or just makes you feel stupid or embarrass you. But still, I think we have to do it to get to know.
Yeah, I agree. About not wanting to annoy people, that part. Firstly, responding to that, I think how you will not annoy British students is firstly, after you ask that, for example, I ask, what is Game of Thrones about? When you go back home, Wikipedia it. Just do your homework. Do not always ask. Like, just imagine, put yourself into their shoes. If someone's always asking you, so what's this TV series about? And next time when they meet you again, they ask you again, what will you feel? You really want to kill them. So just research. Do research. Like, pay effort. It's not easy, but you can make it. Just believe yourself. And secondly, about feeling stupid, do not feel that way. As long as you try to mingle and you really do your homework, you won't be stupid, so don't worry about it as long as you work hard. And
I think I've been just so lazy to do that maybe. Like I just hear some word like Game of Thrones or something like that, and then I just, that's something I don't know. I should have actually maybe Google it back in my flat. I didn't really do it, so maybe. But
at least you have no other show. Like, at least you've got other ideas of other show. Like,
I think it's actually important to know about TV programs. It's a good way to break the ice, or how to say. It's a good icebreaker. It's something you can talk about with British students if you're an international student, I think.
Do you have other tips or other questions that you find really useful for opening the topic with British students?
I'm not sure, because I don't. Obviously, I'm not the best person to.
No, you don't have to be. We just talk about not being have to be perfect.
I would say, right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so
No.
I'm so annoying today.
I'll try to think about it. Okay, I think I don't know. Getting drunk. I think actually getting drunk is like when you get drunk, you don't really pay attention to be perfect and stuff like that. So it's actually a good way to like, yeah.
Have you got drunk with British students in the past?
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't really drink that much, and I'm not really good at it.
Are you sure?
Actually, on the first day when I met my flatmates in my first flat because I moved changed my flats once. I got really drunk.
Ooh.
And I really suffered from it. I really
like hangover.
Yeah, from hangover and having to throw up, and
oh god,
it was terrible. So I'm not really a good
drinker. But do you think it really helps you to get closer to them?
Sometimes I think so. Like when I'm it's not good to say when I'm sober, but when I'm sober, I think there's so many things I think about. Like of course English and like not knowing people. There's so many things I think about. I sometimes think too much, but when I'm drunk, it's like say things correctly. So I think it's a good way.
That can be advice. I mean, what Shinji's getting at, I think what you're getting at is really don't care too much about it.
Yeah, that's true.
As a non-alcoholic, like, I personally... I have hesitation on it because I don't drink, but I think the point he's getting at, not caring too much, is really
just
good.
to clarify, I don't drink that much either.
Are you sure?
Are
you sure?
Okay. Compared to
British students.
Get drunk really easily.
Okay, so that can be a good point. I actually honestly agree. If it helps you to not care too much and speak better, like just throwing the burden away, that can be a good point. But to myself, I mean, on the point of view of non-alcoholic, I would say...
Don't drink too much.
Yeah, apart from that point...
Don't miss your lectures.
Yeah, that's really important. But apart from that, how there are some really good questions to start off with, which I experienced it myself. Firstly, try to ask about what kind of PE lessons do you have in the past? Like what kind of sports do you play in the past? Or what nursery rhyme, what kind of like cartoon you watch when you're young. I find it really fascinating because you kind of know how British students learn when they are kids. And you will reflect on how you grow up as a kid and how you interact with your parents. For example, will you call your dad the full name? Will you do that? No. Is it never?
No, I would say never. Do you do it in Hong Kong?
Well, for most of the families, they won't. But for my family, it's a bit special. Yeah. I quite like calling my dad the full name because full Chinese name. I love his name so much and I love him so much. But I mean, like through this. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Sorry, I think that's something. That's something like boys do to, or boys or girls do to girls or boys. Their favorite doesn't really know what I mean. Like if a boy likes a girl, like he calls her full name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't they do it? I don't know. Maybe if it's just a. Maybe it's just a Japanese thing. I'm not sure.
I think that might be Japanese. I'm not sure about Hong Kong. I've never dated a Hong Kong guy. I can't speak for it, but British don't really.
Not
the full name.
Not mature people. Maybe just like elementary school, primary school kids.
I'm not sure. How about you right now? If you like have do you have a girlfriend?
No.
If you have a crush on a girl, or if you really have a girlfriend right now, will you call her the full name?
No, I don't.
Okay. So the example that we used earlier, we can't really compare it, but the point I want to say is that just ask people, what do they do when they're small? Because this is a topic that we can talk like
Oh.
forever.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then you can like sort of, oh, you know how they grow up, and you yourself on your part, you will not run out of things to talk about because everyone have gone over that childish and not, I can't say childish, but innocent stage and fun stage and carefree stage. So that could be a really good topic to talk about.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to get information about everything how British people think, because that's how they grew up, right? How they spend their childhood. That's a very good way actually. Never thought about that. I should do it. I should ask my flatmates.
I think the main point is just to treat yourself really equally to British students, and think that okay, so if I know a new friend from my same culture, what will I talk with them, and based on this, think of the topic. So when I know some people who are from Hong Kong and meet them in Newcastle, we start to talk back to what we watched when we were small. So I think this applies to how we talk to British students as well.
It's not good to think about being Japanese or being Hong Kong too much. It's like because I'm Japanese, I can't drink, or because, things like that. It's not,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's good to remember what's so special about your own culture and bring it up. And it's really good if you if you still hold on to something special about your culture and bring it up, because I'm not sure whether it happens in Japan, but in Hong Kong, some girls are really whitewashed. They just want to pretend that they are, they're born here. They don't really know, they don't really want to speak in Cantonese. We have this type of girls.
Hong Kong girls in Hong Kong.
we have this type of student who want to
They're
pretend,
ashamed of Cantonese or something.
not really ashamed, but feel have this sort of white superiority assumption in their head.
I think that's very similar in Japan.
Really?
I would say, a lot of girls say, so there's this half topics, half people are mixed, biracial people.
Yeah.
So, and...
a lot of mix.
Hmm?
A lot of mix.
A lot of mixed people between Westerners and Japanese tend to, get very popular, and it's a good thing. And a lot of Japanese girls say, oh, I wish I was a half means biracial, or I wish I was bilingual. I wish I was born these days in Britain. So I think there's also that kind of image to Westerners. Westerners.
Do you think they feel that way because they think they're more in that way? These girls will be more special, or do you think they just feel because white is superior? Which one do you think is more?
I think they don't really deeply think about superiority or something like that. I think most people just think they look beautiful somehow. I don't know why. Well, maybe it's because I don't know. But as a fact, a lot of models are usually, I think, I heard that 90-something% of all the models in the world, not in Japan, in the world somewhere in the world probably, are Caucasians. So media's using using Caucasian models mostly. Maybe that might be one reason. Not sure though. I don't really want to sound.
Yeah, but I get what you mean. It's the feeling of being more beautiful, which is the standard of how the society and everything around us seem to tell us that.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that this is just like a cliche, but it's quite true. No matter how beautiful you are, if you don't bring value to people, if you don't have confidence, you're not beautiful at all. So just don't. Back to the point about, for example, just speaking English. Just be confident and be yourself, and you'll be fine. You'll be great. You'll be attractive. It sounds like cliche, but it's really, really true. It's really true.
I think it's important to be confident. By being confident, you can, there's more energy when you're confident.
Yeah.
And that gives you that makes you think that I want to do this, I want to do more. So it's a positive energy you get when you're confident.
Yeah.
So confidence is important.
And being very optimistic with high energy is as well.
Yeah.
And just to end the show, Shinji and I actually talked earlier about being stressful in speaking in a foreign language because sometimes we can't express totally what we are talking about. We are really thinking.
Yeah, also I think physically just speaking a foreign language itself is very energy assuming. It's very difficult. Like for example, when I go back to my flat after speaking English all day long, just feel so exhausted somehow. I don't know why. And I think I actually asked the British students who study Japanese, and they said the same thing when they were in Japan on exchange. They felt the same when they went back to their room. They felt so exhausted. So, yeah.
I would say I totally see your point because I was like that last year, especially in philosophy class, being the only Asian. And I would say, apart from speaking English, it's more about feeling stress and about not knowing whether you're speaking good enough, and also you really want to get across the message to local students and really worrying that they won't be able to get it. So this stress built up within me. There was once that I get this panic shock. This is a real term, a medical term.
Okay.
So it's like, not panic shock, it's anxiety. What's that called? Anxiety. I forgot whether it's anxiety panic or anxiety shock or panic shock. I can't remember. But it's related to being too anxious for, like, having a really intense intense short period of time of being really nervous. And what I felt was like I couldn't breathe and I couldn't think and I was sweating and things like that. It was so stressful.
You were depressed last year.
Yeah, but after I got over it, sometimes I still feel that way. So I think that was the only time that I feel really, really nervous when I was speaking English. So I think back to your point about feeling exhausted is more to do with stress apart from really speaking English itself.
Yeah, but the thing we wanted to say is but the reason it's also like speaking English was one of the reasons why many reasons why we came over to England and we want to improve English. So it's we still have to continue doing it. And so we talked about it. It's about how to balance. Sometimes I think like when you have to speak foreign language, it's not only for international students here, it's also for British students. Maybe if we go to different countries to learn different foreign language. Like sometimes it's important to give it a break to just kind of stay away from that language, any language you learn, and just doing something fun in your own language. I think it kind of releases the stress.
That is a really good advice because I know a lot of students. I mean, from my course, they're doing a year abroad next year. So, for example, they're studying Spanish or French or German. They have to go to that country to work or to teach. So, what Shinji has talked about? Sorry.
Do you mean British students?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They have to go abroad.
Yeah,
so, what Shinji has the advice that you have just given is really good. And also, I've got a piece of advice, which you may not agree with me, but I think it's quite useful. Because for me, speaking in a foreign language, the most exhausting thing is not really speaking about it. It's more the stress building within me. So I would suggest just to talk to yourself all the time in English or in the foreign language that you're trying to speak. If whenever you're thinking in your own mother tongue, stop yourself and just even when you're thinking to yourself, use another language. That is my way of training up my English skills. I know some students don't agree with me, but this is how I think.
I agree with. Well, I kind of disagreed with you.
You think it's too exhausting.
But I cannot. We could still, I think, combine mine and yours. For example, like, yeah, you have to, yeah, when you think about, usually maybe you can think in English, and then, but still taking a moment to rest from it, like rest from English. Maybe we can combine these things.
Yeah, they can do. Yeah.
You just giving.
Yeah, because you have to take a break anyway. Okay, yeah, so this is the end of the show, and before we play the last song, which is called Cinderella from Tata Young. Oh, sorry, it's not. We're playing this. I mean, Gangnam Style from Jace Lee, which is the YouTuber that we both really like. They are Canadian, Australian.
No, they're
Australian?
Korean, Australian.
Yeah, Korean, Australian, and then two really beautiful girls.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're very good at singing.
Yeah,
so you can...
they're really sweet. So we'll play that. But before I play that in the show, I just really want to say thanks so much, Shinji. Thanks so much.
I'm really glad to be here.
You can come over next week as well if you really want. Honestly. Yeah, and then okay. And also, do you know what? He was really panicking before the show, but
it's the first time for me too.
I just want to say it's really good for the first time.
Yeah.
I screwed my show for the first time, and he's doing a really good job. So
Thank you.
big applause!
Thank you.
So cool. Yeah, so we're just gonna end the show right now. And I remember that I promised you guys to talk about Hong Kong girls, but it just doesn't flow with the whole show. So what I would do is that I will record a short clip onto the Facebook page, which is Hong Konger in the UK, HKER space IN space THE space UK. In case you or maybe you are my friend, you see it on my Facebook page. I will record a clip to make it sound less awkward. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And next week, I'm still not sure what I want to talk about. We'll see. Have a nice evening and have a nice Sunday. See you next week.
It's our day today.
Yeah, it's our
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, have a nice weekend.
Yeah, how do you say bye in Japanese?
Jane.
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 Due to technical problems, somehow it's not Gangnam Style. So I'll try to fix it. Just give me a sec, because this is a song that we both like. So I don't wanna. I just want to say thank you to Shinji by playing this song. I'll just try to make it right. Okay, here we go. Yay, we've got it! Gangnam Style.
Today we're going to be singing Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Hope you guys enjoy it. 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자, 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자, 밤이 오면 가슴이 뜨거워지는 여자, 그런 반전 있는 여자. 나는 사랑해. 낮에는 너만큼 따사로운 그런 사랑해. 커피 식기도 전에 원샷 때린 사랑해. 밤이 되면 심장이 터져버리는 사랑해. 그런 사랑해. 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너. 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너. 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까. 사상이 울퉁불퉁한 사나이 그런 사나이 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까 오빤 강남 스타일 Hey